So one day, Biishiish decided to fast on the Teton Mountains. So he brought his friend carries the marrow bone in his mouth, and he was a younger person, younger boy, and probably Biishiish was about 13, 14 years old at that time. And they camped somewhere close to Jackson Hole. And when they got here, they camped and they killed a buffalo, a young buffalo, and they had a feast, and then they built a sweat lodge. And then when they sweat lodge, and they cleansed their mind and their body in the sweat lodge. And then that very morning, Biishiish went up into the Tetons to fast, and he went up there, and when he first went up there, it was so high. It took him all day to get to where he wanted to go. The certain peak we don't know, so all of the mountain range is called Biishiish's father. And so he went up there to fast, and as he was going along, he was weeping and crying for energy, for the beings that had energy in the universe, not in nature. And when he got there, he found a place that he wanted to lay down in. And when you fast, in the open space, you pick rocks and put it in a sort of a long oval shape, and then you lay under there. You put a cedar or whatever you can find, pine trees, and so you would make a bed out of this. They made a bed out of this, and they would lay facing the sunrise, and excuse me. And so Biishiish made his bed, and when he made his bed, he started to cry for the energy, and because it was night, he didn't do anything that first night, and he was probably tired from climbing the mountain, and so he stayed there the night. And the next day, he went around weeping and hoping that some being pity him and give him the gift of the tears. And that day nothing happened. And again, the night came, and he went to sleep. And then on the third day, he got up and walked around, and he offered some of his skin to the sun in order to get pity from the sun. And we know that everything on earth and in the universe belongs to the ultimate source of energy that we believed in. And the only thing that we have is our pain and our tears, so that's what we offer. And so he cut his skin and offered it to the sun. And then, and so he prayed, and nothing happened again that night. And then early in the morning, he woke up, and there was a man standing at the foot of his fasting place. And this man, his face was shining, and he could not see his face. And he said, "I was sent here to give you some gifts." And he said, if you look towards the south, there are some people there, and they have beards and they have metal on their body. And he said those are the people that have the horses. And they never saw horses before this, the Crow people. And so he said they have horses, they have animals that they use to ride and for the burden. And he said these horses come from an island east of where they now live. And he said they have a lot of these horses. And he said, this is the gift that we will give you. And then he showed him a horse. He showed him a horse so that he would know what it looked like. And so when that happened, this person that came was gone. He was gone. And so now Biishiish was happy that he had been visited by this inner being with some energy. And so he knew where the horses were, and that was his gift. And so he climbed down the mountain, and then his friend was waiting for him with food and water, and also a sweat lodge. And so they went in the sweat lodge and purified themselves, and then they ate the food, and they had pipe and tobacco. So they smoked the pipe and tobacco, and then Biishiish told him what had happened, his visitation from the being. And he told him what had happened, and he said there are some animals to the south that is given to me. And we are supposed to use this animal in the future. And but he said some very bad people on these horses. And so it was dangerous to go down there. And he said, we have to wait and recruit some people that want to go down there to the south, because these people kill all kinds of people. What they do in life is to kill people. So when that happened, after the visitation, they went east towards the Yellowstone River. And they went down to the Yellowstone River, and it so happened that a band of our people were moving west because it was early spring. And when they were moving along, he saw the animal that was shown to him by this being, by this person, powerful person. And the leaders of that band were riding some horses. And but they were draft horses, probably taken from colonies or the settlers from the east, and they were probably draft horses. And they kind of looked like what he saw, but they were different. And these horses were slow, and they were probably geldings, and they were slow, but they used them. The leaders used them for riding, and they knew how to ride. And so Biishiish, they stopped, and they were watching them as they were coming up the Yellowstone River. And Biishiish told his friend, those are the animals that I saw that the powerful being showed me. And so, but these are different. The other ones that I saw are fast and fleet and beautiful. They're nice to look at. And so he said, we have to find some people that want to go and get these animals. And so they met these other people that were riding the horse and were heading west. And they went along with them, but he didn't tell about his dream, his vision, what he was given. He didn't tell anybody, only his friend. And they learned where they got these horses. They said that some other Indians brought them, and that they took it away from the other Indians. And so they learned how to ride them at this time, but they didn't know where to get other horses. And so they stayed with them for a while, and then Biishiish and his friend came back. They came back to the mountains, and because Biishiish had an adventure and a gift from the powerful beings, he could marry. So he went and married that girl that he loved, and he married her. And then the next spring, when grass started to grow, there was a messenger that went around to all the Crow people, because they were so scattered from Canada all the way to Texas. to send messengers out. And the people that own these horses were recruiting people to go to look for horses. And when Biishiish and his young friend heard about it, they immediately went to these people. And that's when Biishiish told what he was told by this powerful being. He said, I was shown where to get these horses. And I was told how to use them and what they look like. And he said they're way down south. And the people that own them are ferocious people. They have beards and they have metal armor and they kill all the Indians they can find. And they live near a place where there are pointed buildings, large pointed buildings. But they have a lot of these animals. And so these people got together and then went on a war party to the south. And there were 75 men that left. And some of them were not married, but most of them were married, as Biishiish was married. So they went south. And there is a southern trail that we use, and it's still the interstate that is used today. And they went along there, and sometimes they would meet hostile Indians, people, other Indians, and they were gathering, they were coming west, so they would meet them, and sometimes they would be friendly. And when they were friendly, they made friends with them, and they sang and danced with them, but they kept moving south. But when they met the hostile Indians, there would be a battle. They would have a battle with them, but they kept moving south, and they met all the Indians going south. And sometimes the Indians would show them where to go. They would say, take this trail and go further south. And they were not traveling fast. They were traveling slow. And it took them about 4 years to get to the place where they were going to find the horses. And when they got to the horses, this powerful being came to Biishiish again at night, and he said, the horses you are looking for are close by. And this being showed him where the horses were. And he said, and he told him, when you get the horses, you have to run fast. You have to run fast and get away from these ferocious people. And so they went over there and they took a lot of horses. They got some horses, the mares, and some studs. And then when they traveled the north, they learned how to ride them. They never rode horses before, so they learned how to ride them, and they all had ropes. So they would tie the rope around their lower mouth, and that's how they guided them. And at first, the horses would not respond, but later on, they responded really well. So they kept moving further north. And again, they met the hostile Indians, and they would fight them. And the friendly Indians, and a lot of the men married these other Indians that they met, other Indian women. And it took them about 3 years. But they came a different way. They came through Arizona and New Mexico and Utah, and then through the mountains. And at this time, they were a large tribe by this time, because they were married. A lot of them were married. And they kept moving further north, and they kept coming north, and they came through the Tetons. And again, this powerful being appeared to Biishiish, and he said, your people are on the other side of the mountains. And he told them where they were going to be at. And he said, your wife is still waiting for you. But all the other men, their wives remarried because they thought they were dead. And so because he showed them the way, they went through here, through the Tetons and through Yellowstone Park. And then they finally got on the other side of the mountains, and they found some of their people there. And, and a lot of the people came out and greeted them. And they had so many horses that they made gifts of the horses that they got to the other people. And so this.